glad Vern is here. Yeah, put these on. Yeah.
Are we on live already?
Yep. There you go.
Alrighty. Well, good to be in the studio this morning and seventh generation podcasting that the guys have been doing. And this morning we have Marvin Meesto here, and we have myself included, who will be kind of conducting part of the interview, and Fraser will be here too as well to hold my hand. Just kidding. Anyway, welcome to the listeners and watchers of the Seventh Generation Podcast. This morning we have a difficult, well, not difficult, but a very sensitive topic that we want to do this morning, and that is at the request of Marvin, who came into the studio to ask to see if we can raise awareness for this gap. It's kap nantong getoma okos sa kap nantono at serene key match. Kipetena no kino si sumego aspin kap nantonat. And well, first off, thank you very much, Kapepito and Marvin. I know you as Mappin. Do you mind if I call you Mappin too
Yeah,
as well?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So miasan epepito ingista. Mates apsis nigan tanse kiwip matamskaga nigan.
Yes, I'd like to say hi to all the listeners, people watching on podcast live. Hey, well, I appreciate the time I was given in the studio here to do the interview
Mhm.
and give a little bit of history and what we've been doing and what we're planning in the future.
Yeah. Ego makap mamamskut manapsis. Well, first off, I just want to point out that we did have a quick smudge this morning just to start things off before the podcast Matsitaya. And so that's done and out of the way. Let's just jump right into the interview, I guess. Mapin Gigosis kap nantunoat a bit of history. Tan segwa matis matsmustona.
Okay, Serene came into my care when he was 11 years old. He finally left home when he was 27. I got the Muegas August 6th, he turned 29. You don't know whether to celebrate a birthday or do you grieve a death, Serena and I had a father-son relationship as with my other son Bryson. Same thing. Like I raised him like my own. April 10th, I'll start with what happened that day. April 10th, I was at work, and 12:07, I got a phone call. I got a phone call. I didn't know who it was. I looked at my phone. It said Centec Alcurve, and I knew it was Alcurve, little store, gas bar between here and Lloydminster. Here it was Serene. He said, "Hi, Dad." I said, "Hi. Can you come pick me up?" And I said, "Well, where are you?" And he said, "I'm at Alcurve." I said, "Geez, son, I can't right now. I'm at work." And he said, "Oh, okay. Do you know if anybody's coming to Lloyd?" And I told him, "Yeah, I imagine there'll be a lot of people. It's check days, and didn't. Oh, yeah, I can't remember what kind of a check day it was. Anyway, oh, yeah, tiga." And he said, "Well, I got $50." Then, that's when our conversation ended.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought nothing of it. I had plans to go to Edmonton that weekend. And while I was in Edmonton, I saw one of my other nephews, Tyrell, post something that they haven't heard from Shireen since that night he left. Actually, somebody told him post report him missing, and he did. Sunday, Piggy, on start the search. And, we just walked off the face of the earth. Exit.
Mm-hmm.
We watched him on surveillance camera, surveillance video. He walked out of sight at 12:17, and that was the last anybody's ever seen of him. Well, not everybody. Somebody saw him.
Yeah.
Apparently, he didn't just walk off and disappear. Anyway, I got home from Edmonton, started searching, and I didn't know what was going on, so I just went out and searched where everybody was. And I wasn't part of a search group. I was a parent out there. I spoke to the
Yeah.
cops. I didn't even know who the lead searcher was, and I didn't even know how it was arranged. But wherever I thought, no, wherever I thought check, I walked and checked, and right now, to this day, nothing. We haven't seen nothing. We've had rumors. He was seen in Edmonton. We went out twice as a group to Edmonton to go search amongst the homeless and to talk to the homeless. And some of them said they've seen him, but we ourselves couldn't see him because we spent 2 whole days there. Those I went a third time by myself. I did the same thing, walked amongst the homeless, talked to them, and sat around at wherever they congregated or gathered these
Yeah.
homeless people, wherever they were fed, and I tried to catch a glimpse of him, but Maui, magiway. Then summer came along and the foliage was too green, too thick, couldn't see anything. So we held off on the search till just last week we started again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk about the search, Mapin, when you talk about the search, have you encountered any problems? Tan sa munya,
At first, when we first started, we were okay. There was gates were open. We walked in and searched, walked around areas, checked old buildings, old equipment that was around. We checked. And about a couple days into the search, the gates were closed. The gates were up, and no trespassing signs were up, posted, and we couldn't go onto those lands anymore.
Hmm.
So we focused on searching the ditches and areas where there was no fences up, and
Yeah.
where we didn't think anybody would mind us searching.
And you were talking about rumors too, in terms of Dante Kagiwap meets Squats. You mentioned Edmonton. Utamaga, like close by. Dante Ganantunganawa. Have you been
Uh,
focusing around Onion Lake too?
yeah, we searched all the way from Alcurve right to Onion Lake and east along the river to the Hutterite colony, and we went straight through north, and we checked all the lease roads up north, both roads on Canoxie and this road straight north of the community here.
Hmm.
We checked all the lease sites. Nothing. We couldn't find anything. The only thing we come upon was lots of vehicles that were either burnt up or hidden in the bushes. That's it. No sign of anything anywhere.
Ano sa waga kisaga ka tan sa gis wawitigo now. I hear Mom Skuten, I know it's the pre-interview you talked about a search committee that had been formed. It's musto na nego.
Yeah, we started off relying mostly on band funds to help us with the search, and I thought we don't want to overburden anybody with these requests. So my daughter and I, who's been beside me ever since this all happened, in fact, I had to stop her in the spring with that. It was just raining. Had been raining for about 3 days, and she was still out there. I
Hmm.
told her it's too wet. Let's call it off for a bit. Anyway, she's been beside me all this time, and we were talking about it. And I said, let's start up a committee. Maybe people will look at us more if we have more people involved. And we have started a search committee, and we have the same committee is going to be doing fundraising, so we can at least pay for some of the search ourselves.
Yeah.
And when the time comes, like when we can't do any more fundraising, then maybe we can rely on the band. Hopefully, we have a plan, fundraise as much as we can. And unfortunately, we have some unforeseen circumstances that we've had to call off our fundraising efforts.
Hmm.
But yes, we're going to continue, and we've already planned out a trip to go on the river. We were going to go out Tuesday morning, but I just thought about that Sunday. Tuesday, we weren't really prepared. Like we tried to do a call out for volunteers, and it was too short a notice. So we had a meeting Monday night, and I told the committee, let's hold off till the weekend.
Yeah.
Let's hold off till that. We'll be a little more prepared. Like we got to feed these paddlers, and we got to figure something out for how we're going to go about this communication. How are we going to communicate? Why we need to get volunteers. Right now, there's only three of us that are prepared to go on a canoe, which
Yeah.
is my daughter, myself, and my son Bryson. Except that way, we decided to go out Saturday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. I've already lined up an elder. We did a call out for elders. I need 8 paddlers. I've managed to get a hold of 4 canoes that were donated by education with all the paddles and life jackets. We just need some able-bodied people and somebody mentally prepared, because you don't know, we might find my son on the river, or just have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
And that's why I've lined up an elder Saturday morning, just to prepare us.
Yeah. Tamtatoya, Kimam Skoten, there's the three of you. How many do you need in terms of volunteers to go out on this the river Gantunantunga?
I'm thinking I got 4 canoes, and I'm thinking 2 people per canoe, make it a little more stable. It'll be a little more stable, like, with the river being low, so we don't get hung up on sandbars.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, we formed a search committee. There's 7 of us, and I can name them off. There's myself, my daughter Janine, my other daughter Shannon, my nephew Desi Meesto, my sister Patronella Lewis, Carmen Carter. I got one more.
But then again, this is a community that a committee that you have made so that you can get more. If
Yeah,
it's a committee, people will kind of like, oh, okay,
yeah,
we
yeah.
agree
There's
with
more
these
than
people.
just Moppin and his kids involved.
Yeah.
A little more recognition, though. So,
Mhm.
and the word will get spread out more. That's why I created this committee,
Yeah.
even for fundraising. It's because it's not just me.
We'll get to the fundraising in a little bit, but after when you do the river search, and this is on Saturday,
Yeah.
is there anybody else that's going to be alongside, maybe Kapamutetsig alongside the river or anything like that while the paddlers are going down? How do you see
Mm,
that day happening?
no, I think I'm going to be relying mostly on the paddlers, because
Okay.
it's a long walk.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
We walked the river Sunday afternoon. My daughter, me, and Bryson. We went a mile and a half, and mile and a half.
That's hard
Sat
trekking.
and rested and looked back at the bridge way off in the distance, and I thought, "Oh, geez, we got to walk back."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, makes for a very long walk.
Hmm. So let's go into a little bit of the fundraising and some of the. You mentioned before too as well. You don't want to rely too much on the nation for kawitsiko,
Uh-huh.
and you do appreciate the help that you do get. What kind of fundraising activities are you planning? And well, we all know. I can guess what the money's going to be used for gas, for probably kasamit sa Sinok when they come and help out with these searches. Tanse goma matesap sa mustuna.
Well, the fundraising we have planned this weekend, we were going to do a card tournaments,
Mhm.
but I say the hall was booked, and we don't. So we just postponed that, rescheduled it. But
Yeah.
Sunday, we're having a turkey shoot up at Heritage Park, and that's part of fundraising for the search. And we have in the plans having a sober dance. Like one of the board members, well, search committee members, has contacted a band, and once we get once they approve that they're coming out, once they say yes, we'll start planning that. That'll
Mhm.
be October 19th, I think, that we want to have that sober dance, just to raise some funds.
When we were talking about the search and the volunteers that you need, right now for the canoeing, you're looking for 8 of you get that sigoma. When there's already 3, so that's 5. But what about the ground searches and stuff like that? How do I, as a band member, if I wanted to volunteer, I have a side by side gaki papampa in like different places. Is there a certain time where you guys or a way for us to putsikiapo ganto peak squat? How would we go about trying to help out in terms of providing those ATVs that we have at home? Then we want to help with the search.
Actually, we have posted on Facebook the list of committee members and their phone numbers.
Okay.
And anybody's interested in joining us, like I had asked, anybody's interested in helping us fundraise or to be with the search,
Yeah.
phone any of the committee members, and we're available all the time. Those are our personal cell phones.
Yeah. Alrighty. And maybe we'll get those cell phone numbers afterwards too of your committee members. What about what would you say to people who are listening right now? Maybe they have a little bit of information. Maybe it's something you haven't heard before. How would they share that information?
How would they share that information? Just phone any of us, and like like myself. If anybody has any questions, like my phone number, my personal phone number, my email, include my email. Have any questions? Just phone me. I'm ready to talk anytime. Answer any questions anytime.
Yeah. In terms of searching for your son, is there anything else in closing that we would like to add?
Well, I was given a phone number to contact a private investigator,
Oh, yeah.
and I did. I phoned that private investigator. Actually, I emailed him twice, and he finally replied to me with a phone call. And we set up a meeting, an original meeting, our first meeting, and he's got a search specialist, Kenny Dion from Kihiwan, joined us about an hour later, and he's the one that's going to be leading the search at Kenny Dion. And he went and mapped out on GPS where Serene disappeared from, because that's the only place we found lots of evidence in that area. So we went and mapped it out on GPS, and we're kind of staying away from there, because so we don't want to disturb
We will.
anything. Yeah,
We
yeah,
always can
we
do
all, yeah, yeah. And I think they have a dog or two that they want to bring out. So hopefully next week, that they start searching. Right now, in the meantime, we want to search areas that we didn't thoroughly search before, like in the back hills here, just south of the landfill. Those hills there, we want to search around there. And if anybody out there notices, maybe something that doesn't smell right, get a hold of us. Those are the leads we've been searching out. A foul smell somewhere, we'll go out there and search. We usually have about 6-7 people that go out.
Yeah. Fraser.
Yeah, just maybe for the viewers and volunteers that wanna help out on Saturday. Do you guys have a time like you'll be meeting at the bridge or at the um old ferry?
Yeah, whole ferry landing.
And then how far you guys plan on going, Fort Pitt and further?
Yeah, we're planning on. Well, I'll be discussing that tonight at our meeting, one of our meetings tonight. If anybody wants to join us, it's at 6 o'clock at the Health Center boardroom. We won't be out tonight. Anyway, what I'm planning is meeting with everybody at 9 o'clock. I've contacted an elder, come and smudge and pray for us, and hoping to have the canoes in the water by 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, and head out. I'm thinking about 2 o'clock. We'll get to Fort Pitt, and there'll be a hot meal there. And I've also informed the peacekeepers or search and rescue or whatever that they want to do a ground search at Fort Pitt. And I told them, well, this is the time. There will be food there, and there will be volunteers there. I told him, and come and do that search there. If I've asked the public if anybody wants to come out, maybe come to Fort Pitt. Maybe somebody wants to take a break. You can, relay for somebody else and finish the rest of the journey. Hopefully, we get to Deer Creek by 6 o'clock. If everything goes right, get to Deer Creek by 6.
And you were talking about that canoe trip and having the canoes on either side, and when you come across islands and stuff like that, they can veer off
Yeah,
to continue the search. So there'd be the four different banks
yeah,
if there was an island, right? So again, to our listeners who are listening right now, if you're an experienced canoer, I know it's a lot of balance,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
out on the
yeah,
river, right?
yeah,
And Ata, you have the life jackets that will be used. Kakayana, au, kagaks, kami. It's still it'd be good if we had somebody experienced
yeah,
paddlers come
yeah.
down.
Experienced in maybe what I was saying is get some more mature-minded people out
Yeah,
on the canoes. We don't want anybody fooling around the canoes because the river can be dangerous.
yeah.
About 40 years ago, my uncle and I, Leonard Fox, we paddled the river. We put our canoe in at Lee Park, 7 o'clock in the morning, and we made it to Fort Pitt 5 or 6 o'clock that evening.
Ooh,
Wasn't a
long
short
trip.
trip, and we were paddling steady. You would think the river would be flowing swift, but it's not.
Yeah,
We were paddling pretty steady. You had a fishing rod with us. We never even had a
never
chance to cast because
never
we had
cast.
we had to paddle.
Yeah. Well, Squats, again, to our listeners, those of you who are listening, if you can volunteer your time, those were basically the questions that I had prepared. Fraser, if you have any more questions, you mentioned the time. 9 o'clock with for that Saturday, you
Yeah,
said, right? That
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. So, I thank you, Mopin, for joining us in the studio. Scots, I'll give you the last words.
Yes, I'd like to thank Seventh Generation Podcast and you, Vernon, for allowing me to do this interview, get the word out. I just want to find my son. No, like I said, I don't really care what happened. I don't care. That's not what we're searching for. We just want to find him, bring him back, do what's appropriate, and put a closure to this. That's all I want to do. And Naskoman, I appreciate once again. I appreciate. Thank you for this, and for the listening audience, viewing audience out there. I thank you for listening to us.
Hi, hi.